right, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of my Gateway Experience. I feel like I have to get better lighting in here in the morning. There's like a shadow. Obviously, it's nighttime. Well, not really nighttime, it's morning time, but the sun's not up yet. So, anyway, episode 44 of my Gateway Experience. Thank you so much for tuning in. The purpose of these videos is to document my journey through the Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience. The Gateway Experience is a series of 6 waves with 6 tapes in each wave, and I am currently on the second wave entitled Threshold, and I am on the first tape of that second wave called Introduction to Focus 12. I just had to pull it up real quick. You probably saw the screen in my glasses. And, man, what an experience. It is very exciting to go through. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos, go ahead and check those out, because this experience builds upon itself. It's something that is requiring prerequisite knowledge in order to practice the higher levels of the experience. We call them tools. We have to know how to use them in order to combine them together. And so let's jump straight into it right now. It is October 7th, 2022. It is 6:39 and just turned a.m. And this morning I woke up at 5 a.m. Last night I went to sleep at around 10 at the latest p.m. And it was good waking up. I did my morning routine a little bit slow because of the lack of conditioning, but I've been doing it periodically here and there, so it wasn't too difficult. It was definitely not impossible. I just have to drive about an hour to an appointment that I have, so that's the reason why I have to be there at 8 a.m. So anyway, when I did, after my morning routine, I did the introduction to Focus 12. And what it's basically about in the beginning, Bob congratulates us for reaching this threshold in our journey to change. And that is what it's all about, right? It's really knowing that we are more than our physical bodies, and that he hints at that. He said, well, by this point, I hope you at least have some kind of idea and understanding, and you know really that you are more than just your physical body. And I do agree with him, and I do feel that way, as I talked about it many times in these videos. And another thing that he pointed out is that even though these tools are here at our disposal and we are getting better at using them, it is really ultimately up to us to change. Only our decisions, only our free will can impact change in our own lives. So I really admire that. I think that puts the power and the responsibility on ourselves, and that is really the truth. I think that in the world we live in, it should be more like that for the world and everybody else around us. And so knowing that and understanding that is 100% up to us to impact whatever change we want to impact. The previous tape was the Free Flow 10, and that was about our purpose. So really beginning with the end in mind in that sense. But it doesn't have to be the long-term purpose. It can also be the short-term purpose. And with this one, it's really going from Focus 10 to Focus 12. And so we go into it with a pre-preparation process, which means we go into our energy conversion blocks, then into our resonant tuning, then into our resonant energy balloon, then into Focus 10. And Focus 10 is the state of body asleep, mind alert, and awake. And that allows us to have an awareness, a thin layer, we call it the rebound, the balloon that we are in, that allows us to be conscious and present and aware of that energy around us in a slight cocoon, so to speak. The Focus 12, though, is different because it expands that awareness from outside of our bodies to outside of our bodies, I should say, and beyond, right? So, and the way you reach that, obviously, you have to practice it, and you have to do the repetitions. It's like swinging the hammer on this sword that is in the hot have to swing it until the sword strains out, and you got to keep doing it. And so the cool thing about it, though, is that for me, my own experience was that when I was going from focus 10 to focus 12, all he does is count. And so he just counts, and he has us count. That's how we're going to be able to reach that state on our own, is just go 11, and then allow that awareness to expand. I thought it was kind of synchronistic how it's 11, going from our physical, quote-unquote, body and being aware of our small, a little bit energy of our focus on our body, to the mystical nature of it all being 11. I think that's a nice reference to Stranger Things. Obviously, this came out before Stranger Things, but I think they are very much related, as Stranger Things dealt with government programs and research, and this one deals with the same thing. And this one was through CIA and everything else. So I think it's interesting. Yeah, so I want to keep this short, as the experience was pretty brief. I'm just full of energy and excited about it, because when I went to 11, I basically became aware of the room that I was in. And then when I went to 12, I saw myself outside of I saw the roof of the house, and I was like on top of the roof of the house. And I thought that was really interesting. I could see outside of that. I basically, my awareness grew to the point that it was the entire house, or at least not the entire house, but at least this room, and then above the room, and above the roof as well. So that was the experience, and then we come back to focus 10. And it's hard for me to put it in words, and this is something that Bob also mentioned. It's great to hear somebody else tell you about it, and it's great to maybe read about it and imagine what it's like, but it's something different entirely to know and to experience it yourself. So I highly encourage, as I've stated in some other videos, to check this stuff out for yourself. It's truly groundbreaking technology and tools that we can use to increase and expand our awareness. And obviously it takes an openness and a desire to explore your inner self, and in so doing, you can explore the rest of the world. And so, yeah, that was basically my experience. We go from focus 12 back to focus 10, and that was an interesting, if you can imagine, right, like being aware of the room, and then being aware of the roof of the house, and then coming back to the room, and then coming back to the body, and then, being aware of the body for a second, and then expanding back out again. And I became a little fatigued at that point, so my mind started to wander. But it's good to do the reps. That's the reason why. And then coming back to the room, and then coming back to the body, and then back to just consciousness one, which is just interacting with the world around us. So very exciting stuff, very expansive stuff. I gotta get better lighting in here, and I want to ask you guys a question. What do you do for work? Or what do you do for a living, whether that's for work or just for fun? How do you pass your time? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, I will see you guys soon.